Rain tapped gently against the window as Daniel stared at the glowing screen of his laptop. The room was silent, except for the faint hum of the ceiling fan and the steady rhythm of his own breathing. It had been a long day, and exhaustion clung to him like a shadow. He was about to shut the laptop when a new notification appeared. It was an email with no subject line and no sender's name, containing only a single link. He hesitated. In another moment, he might have dismissed it as spam, but something about the emptiness of the message stirred a strange curiosity within him. The link seemed harmless, yet it carried an inexplicable weight, as though it had been sent with intention. After a few seconds of indecision, he clicked on it. The screen faded to black before revealing a video. At first, it showed nothing but a quiet street at dusk. Streetlights flickered on one by one, casting long shadows across the pavement. Daniel leaned closer, trying to understand why this ordinary scene felt so familiar. Then he saw it. A small bakery on the corner, its warm yellow lights glowing softly through the windows. His heart skipped a beat. It was the bakery where he had spent countless evenings years ago, waiting for someone who had once meant everything to him. The video continued, and the camera moved slowly inside the bakery. The scent of fresh bread and cinnamon seemed almost tangible, awakening memories he had tried desperately to bury. Behind the counter stood a young woman, her laughter echoing faintly as she handed a customer a paper bag. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. Even though the image was slightly blurred, he recognized her instantly. Aisha, he whispered her name, unsure whether he was speaking to the screen or to the past. It had been 10 years since he had last seen her. 10 years since their love had unraveled under the weight of misunderstandings and pride. He had searched for her for a while after their separation, but eventually life had pulled them in different directions. The video shifted again, showing a table near the window. 2 cups of coffee sat untouched, steam curling into the air. The camera lingered there before the scene faded into darkness. A message appeared on the screen. If you remember, come back tomorrow at 6. Daniel leaned back, his mind racing. Who had sent the video? Was it truly Aisha or someone playing with his memories? He considered ignoring it, convincing himself that revisiting the past would only reopen old wounds. Yet, as the night deepened, he found himself unable to think of anything else. The next day passed in a blur. At precisely 5:30, Daniel found himself standing outside the very bakery he had seen in the video. Time seemed to fold in on itself as he approached the door. The bell chimed softly when he entered, and the familiar scent of baked goods enveloped him. The interior looked almost unchanged, as though the years had paused within these walls. He scanned the room, his heart pounding, searching for a face he both longed and feared to see. At the table near the window, a woman sat with her back to him. Summoning his courage, Daniel walked toward her. Each step felt heavier than the last. When he finally reached the table, the woman turned around. It was not Aisha. Instead, he found himself looking at a young woman with gentle eyes and a tentative smile. She couldn't have been older than 22. Confusion washed over him. I'm sorry, Daniel said softly. I think there's been a mistake. You're Daniel, she replied, her voice trembling slightly. He froze. Yes. How do you know my name? She gestured for him to sit. Please, there's something I need to tell you. Reluctantly, he took the seat across from her. She reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope, sliding it across the table. His hand shook as he opened it. Inside was a photograph of him and Aisha, taken years ago in this very bakery. On the back, in familiar handwriting, were the words, "For when the time is right." My name is Layla, the young woman began. I'm Aisha's daughter. The words struck him like a sudden storm. Her daughter? He repeated, struggling to process the revelation. Layla nodded. My mother passed away 3 months ago. Daniel felt the air leave his lungs. The possibility of ever seeing Aisha again vanished in an instant, replaced by a profound sense of loss. He stared at the photograph, memories flooding his mind with painful clarity. Before she died, Layla continued, she gave me a list of things she wanted me to do. One of them was to find you and send you that video. She said you might not come, but she hoped you would. Daniel's voice was barely audible. Why? Layla's eyes glistened with unshed tears. Because she never stopped loving you. Silence enveloped them as the weight of those words settled between them. Daniel felt a mixture of sorrow and regret, the realization of lost time pressing heavily upon his heart. She wanted you to know the truth, Layla said, handing him another letter. She wrote this for you. With trembling hands, Daniel unfolded the letter. Aisha's handwriting was unmistakable, each stroke carrying the warmth and familiarity he remembered so well. In the letter, Aisha explained how circumstances had forced her to leave abruptly all those years ago. A family crisis had compelled her to move to another city, and in the chaos, a misunderstanding had led her to believe that Daniel no longer wished to be part of her life. Despite her attempts to reach out, their messages had never found their way to each other. Eventually, she had built a new life, marrying and later becoming a mother. Yet, even as the years passed, a part of her heart had remained with him. Daniel's vision blurred as he read her final words, filled with gratitude for the love they had shared and hope that he would find happiness and forgiveness. She also left something else for you, Layla said gently. Come with me. They walked through the quiet streets until they reached a small park nearby. Beneath an old oak tree stood a simple wooden bench. Layla explained that this had been Aisha's favorite place during her final years. She asked for her ashes to be scattered here, Layla whispered. Daniel knelt beside the bench, overwhelmed by emotion. He closed his eyes, allowing memories of laughter, whispered promises, and tender moments to wash over him. Though grief weighed heavily upon him, he also felt a sense of peace, as if Aisha's presence lingered in the gentle rustling of the leaves. Thank you for coming, Layla said softly. She believed that meeting you would help both of us heal. Daniel looked at her, seeing echoes of Aisha in her smile and the kindness in her eyes. Thank you for finding me, he replied. You've given me a chance to say goodbye. Over the following weeks, Daniel and Layla grew closer. Through shared stories and quiet moments of remembrance, they formed a bond that transcended their initial connection. Daniel found himself embracing a new role in Layla's life, offering guidance and support while honoring Aisha's memory. One evening, as they sat together on the bench beneath the oak tree, Layla turned to him. Do you ever regret not finding her sooner? Daniel considered the question carefully. I regret the time we lost, he admitted, but grateful for the love we shared and for the chance to keep her memory alive through you. Layla smiled, her eyes reflecting both sorrow and hope. She would have liked that. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting the sky in hues of gold and crimson, Daniel felt a quiet transformation within himself. The pain of the past no longer held the same power over him. Instead, it had become a source of strength and understanding. He realized that love does not simply vanish with time or distance. It evolves, leaving behind echoes that shape who we become. Through the mysterious link that had brought him back to the past, Daniel had found not only closure, but also a renewed sense of purpose. In the months that followed, Daniel began volunteering at a community center, inspired by Aisha's compassion and kindness. He also helped Layla pursue her dreams, offering encouragement and support as she navigated the challenges of young adulthood. Together, they honored Aisha's legacy by spreading the warmth and love she had embodied throughout her life. Years later, Daniel often reflected on the night he received the mysterious link. What had initially seemed like a simple click had ultimately changed the course of his life. It had reminded him that fate has a way of guiding us toward the connections we are meant to cherish, even when we least expect it. On a quiet evening, Daniel returned once more to the bench beneath the oak tree. As he sat there, he felt a gentle breeze brush against his skin, carrying with it a sense of serenity. He closed his eyes and whispered a silent thank you to Aisha for the love they had shared and for the unexpected gift of reconciliation. In that moment, Daniel understood that while life is often marked by loss and uncertainty, it is also filled with opportunities for healing and renewal. The mysterious, Link had not only reconnected him with his past, but had also opened the door to a future defined by compassion, forgiveness, and enduring love. And as the stars began to illuminate the night sky, Daniel felt a profound sense of peace, knowing that some connections transcend time and distance, leaving an indelible mark on the soul.